Welcome to our Tyburn adventure. We're some of the staff team of St Marylebone Parish Church, and we'll be uncovering some of London's hidden secrets today. One of the best kept secrets in London is the hidden rivers, and today we'll be exploring the route of the Tyburn River, so special to us at St Marylebone.
So special to us as it gives us our name, St Marylebone, the great city north of Oxford Street.
Our journey begins here on Hampstead Heath, where the waters of many rivers bubbles up. Come and join us on our journey.
We've tramped through Hampstead, and here we are on the edge of Fitzjohn's Avenue, where Shepherd's Path meets Spring Path. This is our first exciting stop.
Well, here we are at Shepherd's Well, when Tiber's water reached the surfaces.
So we followed the route of the Tyburn from Hampstead to John's Wood, and the Tyburn is now beneath our feet, where we're walking towards St Marylebone again soon. And this is a Victorian fountain that we found on the way, and on it are some of the words of Jesus from John's Gospel, and I'm going to read that to you now. Jesus said, "Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water I shall give him shall never thirst."
We have followed the Tyburn River to Regents Park and the boating lake, which is behind us. As much as we love at Regents Park and it's a happy and fun place to be, it's not always been like that.
In January 1867, it was a particularly cold winter and the lake froze over. On the 15th of January, 500 people were skating, and unfortunately the lake cracked and 200 of those people fell in. Unfortunately, 40 of those people died. Those bodies were then taken to the St Marylebone workhouse.
Hello, my name is Margaret Sykes and I'm Practice Manager of the St Marylebone Healing and Counselling Centre. The HCC is based in the crypt at St Marylebone Church and offers psychotherapy and counselling to people from all walks of life, from all faiths and from none. Today I've joined some of my colleagues from St Marylebone walking the course of the River Tyburn, and when I discovered that Tyburn means boundary stream, it gave rise to a few thoughts which I'd like to share. We all know that water is essential for life, but boundaries are important too. Without them, societies cannot function, and they are equally important to each of us individually in maintaining physical and mental wellness. But the balance is a fine one. If our boundaries are too rigid, they become barriers, shutting out the world and other people. We can become cut off, isolated and lonely. If our boundaries are too weak or non-existent, then we can feel adrift, overwhelmed and anxious. Good boundaries keep us safe and secure, helping us to develop healthy relationships with those around us and to know our place in the world. Most of the time, like the River Tyburn, they're buried deep, hidden from view, and we don't give a second thought to how much we rely on them. From time to time, however, like the river here outside St Cyprian's at Clarence Gate, they rise to the surface and we're reminded of them and remember how much they contribute to our well-being.
Welcome to St Marylebone Parish Church. Built in 1817, it is the fourth of our parish churches, and over those hundreds of years, it has seen a lot of change and development in the area.
You may have noticed the hoarding and the scaffolding around the building. This is all part of our Changing Lives project. The project seeks to safeguard and improve our building for many generations to come. It's also about researching, telling and sharing the wonderful stories of St Marylebone, which is exactly what we're doing today.
Here we are at the Parish Church of St Marylebone, in the heart of the area called St Marylebone. Now the church was at St Mary on the Tyburn, now St Marylebone.
We've come down the trendy Marylebone High Street, and it meets Marylebone Lane at the bottom, and it gets all squiggly because it's following the route of the River Tyburn, which, as our pavement tells us, flows right beneath this street. There's a few markers along the way on Marylebone Lane, so look out for those.
We come down to Oxford Street, and behind me is the department store where we believe was the site of the old parish church, the first parish church in this area.
Here we are at Marble Arch, the site of the Tyburn gallows, a place where thousands of people met their death. I want to read to you a poem today by John Taylor. John Taylor was born in Gloucester on the 24th of August 1578. He was a prolific, if rough-hewn writer, a wit rather than a poet, with over 150 publications in his lifetime. Although his work was not sophisticated, he was a keen observer of people and styles in the 17th century, and as such, his work is often studied by social historians. This is an extract from his poem called The Description of Tyburn. I have heard sundry men oft times dispute of trees that in 1 year will twice bear fruit. But if a man note Tyburn will appear, that's a tree that bears 12 times a year. I muse it should so fruitful be, for why I understand the root of it is dry. It bears no leaf, no bloom, or no bud. The rain that makes it fructify is blood. I further note the fruit which it produces doth seldom serve for profitable uses.
So here we are now at the Wellington Arch, and we're all about to wish Her Majesty the Queen a really happy return from her time in Scotland. So let's all give Her Majesty the Queen a big wave.
So we're at Thatchbrook Street. Brook, of course, means river, and it flows underneath, and we're nearly at the Thames. We made it. Here we are on the north bank of the Thames at Tyburn House and Rio Cottage just next door. And as we passed the parish church, we saw that as of the autumn of 2021, we're somewhat of a building site. Well, appropriately, so is the mouth of the River Tyburn. Just here, behind this construction site barrier, is the plaque that normally sits on the wall announcing that beneath it outflows the River Tyburn. We followed it all the way to the Thames. Thank you for joining us on our journey as we live London's history and are busy making the next chapter of London's history together.
Bye!